Let's talk about prediabetes today. If you're a non-diabetic, you're blessed to be free with your dietetic habits. But overindulgence may catch you in some other ways for the same risk factors such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and so on. So do not be complacent being free of diabetes to consume high glycemic foods. High glycemic foods are those carbs that have a GI of over 60. These include round grain rice like samba, also called short grain, or any other white rice having a GI of 73 when glucose is based as 100. Brown rice has a lower GI of about 68 compared to the white rice, which is about 73. This difference is the brown outer covering in brown rice, referred to as bran, delays digestion with slower absorption. The other common high GI foods are potatoes, white bread, foods made from processed wheat, white rice, and those with added sugar, as in ice cream and beverages. Basmati rice has a GI of 59 and is preferred for diabetics to eat if rice is chosen. The common low GI foods are soy products, some fruits, pasta, grainy bread, porridge, lentils, and other high fiber foods. Sri Lankans are blessed because they love lentil curry. That goes well with any other staple food and quite cheap too for the average person. Medium GI foods, that is those between 55 to 65, are orange juice, honey, basmati rice, wholemeal bread, and so on. Any form of resistant rice seems to have a low GI as the absorption is very slow and most of it passes through to the large bowel for the benefit of the microbiota. All carbs with high fiber contents have lower GI than processed low fiber foods. The definition of prediabetes is when your HbA1c ranges between 7.7% to 6.4%. Non-diabetics have a HbA1c of less than 5.7%, and full-blown diabetics have a high GI of over 7% and varies according to whether your diabetes is controlled or not. Most of you may not know what HbA1c test is. Simply explained, the blood sugar gets into the hemoglobin in the red cells and are stored for 2 to 3 months. So HbA1c is referred to as a memory test because it refers to the amount of glucose stored in the red cells for that period through a process called glycation. When you test your fasting, postprandial or after food, or random blood sugar, you check on the blood sugar reading at that moment. The advantage of the HbA1c test is that the reading gives an estimate of consumption of sugars for over 2 months. This is the most reliable sugar test to diagnose and assess the control of your diabetes. In terms of the instant fasting blood sugar test, If the reading is 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter and the HbA1c is between ranges of 5.7 to 6.4%, you're labeled as a pre-diabetic. In the US, about 86 million people over the age of 20 are pre-diabetics. You could imagine the overindulging lifestyles of these people for being born in America. In the third world countries, people need to eat high glycemic processed foods because they are cheaper and provide quick energy for survival. Most unprocessed foods are not within the reach of the average person. A good example is bread. White hot bread produced by the local bakery costs 70 to 80 rupees, whilst brown bread and multigrain varieties are over 3 times the cost in Sri Lanka. Furthermore, white bread seems to give a better pleasing taste to go with curries than the brown unprocessed varieties. How can one know whether he or she is a pre-diabetic when there are no symptoms? But really, there are symptoms that go unnoticed. You could feel extra thirsty and pass more urine. Your vision could be blurry and may be tired at the end of the day. If you feel that you experience any of the above early symptoms, you need to have first a fasting blood sugar and a HbA1c test. You may also have early metabolic syndrome needing control too. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of signs that occur together, increasing your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. The syndrome includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess fat around your waist, and high cholesterol and high triglycerides. Controlling metabolic syndrome reverses prediabetes. Most important are dietary changes by switching on to low carbohydrates with low glycemic, high fiber foods. Avoid sugar-sweetened beverages. Avoid foods containing trans fat. Avoid white bread, pasta, and white rice. Fruit-flavored yogurt. Sweetened breakfast cereals. Flavored coffee drinks. And dried fruits. High glycemic foods result in a quick spike in insulin and blood sugar. Low glycemic foods have a slower, smaller effect. In addition to dietetic restrictions, the good news is that people with prediabetes can start some regular exercise and lose weight to prevent progressing into full-blown diabetes. Walking 10,000 steps a day seems to be the panacea to prevent and cure most diseases, including cancer. Reversing prediabetes is not a cure, but only maintains the blood sugar level within normal range with strict discipline. The bottom line is keep your weight down, exercise daily, and eat low glycemic, high fiber foods with low salt, and that regime would reverse prediabetes. Hope this video was useful. Goodbye until we meet again.